In weight loss, there's nothing more powerful than your own experience of what you've tried, what works, what doesn't, this ongoing journey of continual learning. I've just had a really great appointment with a client who's doing really well in her weight loss, and she was asking me about when I lost my 30 kilos because she's quite a similar age to what I was when I lost my weight, which was my early 20s. I was about 23 at the time when I moved to Japan and started exercising and lost my 30 kilos. And she's a similar age and she's doing really well. And we were talking about my experience. And it's really interesting for me to think back on what I knew at the time and what I did. And the truth is, I really didn't know a heck of a lot. Back in those days, I'm showing how old I am here. We didn't have the internet. And of course, I'd read diet books back in New Zealand and I tried to lose weight and hadn't been particularly successful. But, I really didn't know much about nutrition at all. I knew what I thought was healthy, but I had no real knowledge of healthy way of eating. I certainly didn't have any good history of weight loss because I'd never been successful before. But when I started on my journey of weight loss, it was really triggered by exercise, starting at the gym and exercising and then feeling how good I felt and then continuing on from there, and I guess making adjustments with my nutrition. But when I talked to my client this morning, what I remembered, which was what I shared with her, was that there was one phrase that I kept in my mind all the time, and it was that phrase that actually saw me through to losing 30 kilos. So it had nothing to do with knowledge. My journey had really everything to do with the fact, being in my early 20s, I could be quite self-indulged. I didn't have to look after anyone else. I was living alone, so I certainly could do the actions that worked, like going to the gym regularly and only having good food in the house. I certainly didn't have any junk food or biscuits or anything like that. But the real key was the phrase that I said to myself every day. And I thought I'd just do a quick video and share that with you. So every day, when I was thinking of doing something, whether it was positive or negative, just before I took action really, the thing I would ask myself was, how are you going to feel about this in the morning? When you first wake up in the morning and you have that moment of consciousness, you're sort of waking up thinking, what day is it? And if you've eaten something badly the night before, it can often be a case of, oh my God, why did I do that? Or perhaps you've drunk too much. Goodness knows I was doing a bit of that in my 20s. That feeling of, why did I do that? And just feeling gross about it. And I guess the opposite feeling when you wake up in the morning and your first feeling is, oh, I got through yesterday. Oh, I did it. How good that makes you feel. And that feeling stays with you all day. That moment in the morning is really key to your happiness and your focus. And I remembered today as I was telling my client that often during the day when I was thinking about doing an action, eating something, maybe not eating something, when someone had offered me food, I would think to myself, how do I want to feel about this in the morning? And that would really help me decide whether I did it or not. So simple. That was the one thought that I had in my head, and that's what I used to judge my actions, and that's how I lost 30 kilos, because I sure as heck didn't know anything about nutrition. I sure as heck wasn't being perfect because we were partying a lot in those days, but my actions actually for the most part were pretty good, and they were that way because I was so happy with how I felt, and all I wanted to do was wake up and feel happy. I hope that's of use. If you're watching the video this far, I hope that maybe you can take a phrase or some other similar phrase and use that to help inspire you. Weight loss does not have to be complicated. It really can be very simple. Just take what works for you, but think about it daily. Don't give up. Write it down. The difference between my life then and my life now is that life is so busy, especially once you have kids, and I'm tired. And obviously it can't all be about me. So, situations change, but at the core, weight loss is still simple if you want it. And you can find these little gems that can keep you inspired along the way. Good luck with your weight loss. If you need any little pearls of inspiration, book in for a conversation with me. You can do that through my website. Get in touch. I'd love to help you.